If you want everyone to have a big smile, take them for a ride on the San Francisco cable car. This is the only cable car in the world that is still functioning. And it's as much fun as any carnival ride. Right now I am standing here at the Powell Street turntable. Cable cars only go in one direction, so when they get to the end of their line, they have to have a way to turn it around. And that's what you see here.
At their peak, there were 23 cable car lines. Today, there are only 3, and I will give you a round trip on each of them. This current trip is on the Powell-Hyde line. It leaves from the Powell Street turntable, passes Union Square, Nob Hill, Russian Hill, and Lombard Street, ending at Ghirardelli Square, just west of Fisherman's Wharf. It's the most popular with tourists and has long waits to be on board. Be aware that you can hop off at any location, but to get back on you will have to pay the full fare. So, take a car to the end of its line. A cable car is driven by the grip, whose job requires strength, coordination, and balance. He must grip and release the cable, know when to release the cable and let the car coast, and maintain safety from traffic. The conductor collects the fares, manages the crowd, and controls the rear wheel brake. Since you've come with me this far, be sure to click the subscribe button. It doesn't cost a thing, and it sure helps the channel.
I'm here with my great friend Yoel, and he's going to tell us about the #1 thing to do when you ride the San Francisco cable cars.
Well, the thing that I recommend when you are here and when you want to ride a cable car is go to the Cable Car Museum. It's a great place to know about the cable car.
That's where they got the big wheels that turn the cables.
All the machines.
Well, that's what we want to see.
See you there?
So that's where you need to go when you're done here. The cable cars are one of the best features of San Francisco, but they can also be very frustrating. Right now, if you look, there's not too many people here. The reason for that is it's only about 8 o'clock in the morning. The cable cars run from 6 o'clock in the morning to midnight. And you want to get either late or early. In this case, being early, you don't see too many people. But if you were here at prime time, you would see that it's packed, and it could take you as long as 2.5 hours to get on the cable car. When you get home from your trip, you'll be able to tell all your friends about the fabulous time you had on the San Francisco cable cars.
We are at the start of the California Street line. This cable car is different than those used on the Powell lines. It's larger and has controls at both ends. This avoids needing a turntable. The line runs east and west on California Street from a terminal near Market Streets. Its last stop is at Van Ness Avenue. It is a short walk from there to City Hall, the Opera House, and Davies Symphony Hall. In 1878, the California Street Cable Railroad opened. The company's first line was on California Street and is the oldest cable car line still in operation. You heard Ewell speak of the Cable Car Museum. Everyone knows the cable cars, but few know how they work. They're pulled by a cable running below the street. To start and stop the car, the grip operator closes and opens the grip around the cable. Here you see the powerful motors and strong cables that pull the cars up steep hills. It's awe-inspiring. A grip's dies have to be replaced after just 3 days of usage.
Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Beat in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact.
The first cable car rolled down Clay Street in 1873. The ones you will ride on have been around since before 1900. They were named a National Historic Landmark in 1964, and today they are kept in tip-top shape by a skilled team.
Cause we just want retribution. Let's go light up the darkness. Make true of an empty promise. With gods in the weekend, harmless. Take to the streets and turn them to a mosh pit. Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.
The Powell Mason line runs north from the Powell Street turntable. It crosses California Street and then coasts downhill off the cable for nearly 3.5 blocks. The cars turn right and go downhill to a terminal at Taylor and Bay Streets. It is 2 blocks from Fisherman's Wharf and is close to Pier 39. Cable cars are an iconic part of San Francisco and are protected National Historic Landmarks, but they are not without their critics. Most complaints center around the high cost of operating a system that mostly serves tourists. But San Francisco loves its tourists. Here is the Powell Street turntable just before noon. Notice there are many more people here now than at 8 o'clock this morning. Still, there is half the crowd that there will be at 2 o'clock this afternoon. You will hear a dozen different languages, see 100 different looks, and feel the camaraderie of our international city. You can thank me later for advising you to come here early for the cable cars. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. You know you want to. If there is anything you'd like to say, leave a comment.